Hello.
I'm Leanne.
I'm Jeannie.
And we're the Loose Thread Stitchers.
We're back.
We're back. It's been a while. We've had things going on and summer and trips, and sorry it took so long, but we're back and it's fun to be back. Welcome to everybody coming back in, and if we have any new viewers, welcome in.
Yeah, welcome to everybody, even those that do 2 times the speed, like Charlotte.
Yes.
Hi, Charlotte. Mary.
Hi, Charlotte and Mary. Yeah, they do 2 times as she watches all of her floss tubes at 2 times the speed, so she gets through more. I don't know how she does that. I'll have to figure that out and try it and see how it works. But today is Friday, July 15th. This is episode number 7. It's about cross stitching, quilting. Jeannie did some punch needle, and we went on a few trips. So we got quite the haul here and stuff to show you. So it's been like over a month, I think.
Close to 2.
And again, I'm sorry for that. That's just the way things happen around here. So we'll start with life updates. You could go first. Okay,
since our last video, I've had cataract surgery on both my eyes, so I have implants now.
No glasses? Do you see? No glasses?
For another week. I am getting a prescription. It's, I got 20/30 vision, so it's just...
Oh, 20/30. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got, I wear the low-end cheaters for cross-stitching, but... and then I gotta look up at the screen to see floss tubes, and it's kind of, but yeah, so that's all going on with me.
And then my husband had 2 screws put in his ankle because he broke it, and then last week we got the screws taken out. One of them was falling out, and now he has to wear his back to his boot for up to 6 weeks because his bones aren't healing. And the doctor ordered a bone stimulator, but we haven't heard from the people yet on when we're getting that. But that's supposed to help his bones fuse or go back together or whatever. So he's walking around in a boot. At least he's supposed to be.
Walking.
Yeah.
In the boot.
Yes. Let's just say there's...
Is he doing either?
Well, he's walking sometimes, but there's not a lot of boot going on. So, okay, so we're going to move into cross stitch. So do you have any finishes?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
No finishes.
Okay, I don't have any finishes either. But now we move on to FFOs. And I have a couple of FFOs.
She did finish a couple things.
I did, and I'm so excited.
And she gifted one.
Yeah, I did. The first one I finished is Merry Christmas. Does that help? Like there? Merry Christmas by Abby Rose Designs, and it's a pillow.
It's beautiful.
There it is. Oh, I'm so excited.
Wow.
And Jeannie gave me these little light bulb pins, so I put a little light bulb in, and I had some rusty jingle bells, so I just threw it in there.
But you can't wait for Christmas now.
No, it's so fun, and there's the back. I love it. Oh, it's so fun.
Good job.
I like to finish stuff. It's nice to finish stuff. And then I have another FFO, and it's from this, and I did the birthday one for somebody because it was her birthday, and on the back you can kind of see the picture better. It looks like that. And it's little. It's just a little stocking, and there it is.
Isn't that just beautiful?
And it's a birthday stocking.
And it's mine.
Yeah, that's hers. I have 3 FFOs. She owns 2 of them.
They live at my house.
Yes. I don't know what that says, but it says something weird.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And now you better sit back because she's got quite a few FFOs.
Well, it's been almost 2 months. So, we'll start at the top. Here is my Primrose Cottage January 9 patch. I did it on light blue 14 count aided, 2/1, and I used sulky threads.
Show the back. Back is cute.
Isn't that
Look
a cute
at the back.
Yeah.
That's very
So
cute.
there's one.
Yeah, one.
And then I did July 9 patch Primrose Cottage stitches, and the same light blue and sulky 2/1. And I just pinned a flag on in 2022 up there in the corner. So that's that one. Then I have America. And this is Bush. And I made it into a little pillow. It was a kit I got at Stitchville, USA. Oh, can't hold it. And it came with a little button. And that's over 2. It's on, I don't know what count that, or it's, no, it's over 1. But it's 2, it's pearl cotton? No. What, probably says in here.
Yeah, because that fabric is different. Here's Willow. Here's
10
Willow.
count.
Tula, sand.
And it's cotton floss.
Oh, so it came as a kit.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, from Stitchville. That's Willow.
Willow's invading her. Hi, Willow. Yeah, don't put your butt in the picture.
Yeah, don't moon them.
Back here. This is Willow. She is the snuggliest, best kitty in the whole world. There's no other kitty like her.
Here's another America with charms. Frame that one. That is done on 18 count Garibaldi Needleworks Misty Gray.
She's got it all nicely written.
Hey.
Nice.
I don't want to say I forgot.
Where'd you get the frame?
The frame, unpacking some of our things, there was this frame out there.
Wow.
And I don't know, it was kind of a primitive type picture in there, but it fit perfect. So it's like out with the picture, in with the cross stitch.
That's beautiful.
So then here is Invisible. And this is a pillow like that. So, and then I've got, oops, the charts on the back. Another America.
That one's really pretty. I love the swoopy stuff. The banners, you know.
Yeah. And this one I did in like a door hanger.
That's beautiful.
It's fun. And then in the month of May for Mania, I did JBW designs. And the last one I was working on is the reindeer stocking. So I got that finished. I'm don't know if I'm 100% happy with the trim here, but it's done for now. I can always change that. That was a fun one to do.
How do you change the trim?
I take it off and put a new one on.
Okay.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just that.
Then this is one I had done a couple months ago. It was a modern folk embroidery, and I just recently framed it. My Jane Austen. Love this one.
Is that an 8x10 frame?
It's a little less than 8x10. This was one of our thrift store outings. I found this and then just painted it up, and it fit.
Boy, does it ever fit.
It's about a 7 5/8. So, those are my fully finishes for cross stitch.
For my Merry Christmas pillow, I did it on what all of the called for threads, and the fabric was Picture This plus Brash, and it was 32 count, and it's 2/2. And Jeannie's, I did it on Country Mocha and it's 2/2.
2/2?
I think it's 2.
Okay.
No, maybe not. What do you think? Doesn't that look like 2/2?
It does, but I didn't think you ever did anything that small.
And I did the called for threads. It's just that I think I used Country Mocha, but I can't remember what. I had a scrap of it that was the right size. The holes are kind of big, so I'm wondering if it's 32.
Those are kind of big.
Yeah, those are kind of big holes.
They're not very big for a native stitcher.
Okay, so now we go on to haul. Oh dear Lord. Okay.
When do we do working on?
Oh, should we do working? Oh, I'm not done. FFOs too, I guess. FFOs. We make our own bags. So I made a couple of bags, and this one is one I made. I
love that fabric.
It's Bluebird. It's Edita Sitar's fabric, and it's called Bluebird.
Laundry basket quilts.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see. I'll try to get as close as I can. But what I did is I did a really little stippling all over. And if you ever go to Country Sampler, they have cross stitch, and she also has fabric there. But all of their quilts on the wall, they do this really little stippling, and I thought, gee, I'm going to start practicing that so I can get down to really small. So this has pretty small stippling on it.
It's like 40 count.
But I did that big, and then I always find when we go to antique stores and stuff, I find this is a big bag. It's Little Bo Peep, and she has some sheep there. And it might have been a pillowcase. I'm thinking it was, and it's yellow. It's a pale yellow. And what I did is I made the bag bigger, so like if I use, I put a handle on it too.
Your Q-snap?
Yeah, you can put a big Q-snap in here, and you could also, if we were going on a trip or something, I could put a few projects in here, because this bag's actually probably the biggest bag I've made. But she was pretty big, so she is very cute. But if you notice her cane, or her, what is that called? Staff. It was, you can see it's kind of bleeding, and I didn't do that. That's the way I bought it. But I didn't care. It was just so dang cute, I couldn't handle it. So
that is cute.
she came home with me. And then I also make, I don't know what you want to call them.
Where's your pins?
Oh, my pins are over here. Oops, sorry. I make the little blings.
Floss ring?
Yeah, the floss rings. Instead of pinning them all, I'm just going to show you a couple.
They are beautiful.
And I made a bunch of Christmas ones. I'm not showing the Christmas ones, but I thought it'd be nice just to make some, you know, like sampler ones, or just everyday sort of normal ones that, you know, you could put with like a sampler, or, and this is the last one.
Quite a few different shapes.
Yeah, and I buy the paper on Etsy, and you just put in for paper crafts or for scrapbooking, and I put in, like, I tried sampler, I tried sewing, and then you get, like, for $2 or $3, you get a whole bunch of papers that it's instant download. And then what I do on my printers, I just shrink them on my printer.
Oh, okay, to get them that
yeah,
small
to get
size.
them what size I need, and then you make them. Yeah,
very nice.
Didn't quite know where to stuff that in. So then if we go on to what we're working on...
but just a minute.
Okay.
Before we go on to that, I've got a couple...
your punch needle.
Fully finished punch needles.
Yep.
And I don't have the pattern for these, but here is one, the curveball jar, and I just finished it on a Hobby Lobby wooden ornament. And then this one I think is a Primitive Designs punch needle.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I put that on a Target cheese board. I'm wondering about putting a bow or something. I don't want it too foo-foo, but I don't know if I'll put on like a burgundy bow on the top or what I'll do just yet. But I just put some trim around the side, and yeah. So that's the punch needle. Okay, now we'll go on to whips.
Okay, so one of my whips, I've been doing whipco, and one of my whips is Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring. And this one I think is the second time I pulled it out. So there it is. And I don't know, you guys have had problems, I'm sure, but if you notice the bottom row, that's what I was working on. Okay, and you notice over to the right, it turns blue. Well, little old me just kept on stitching with the other color, and then all of a sudden the next day I'm looking, I'm going, why is the next line blue? Well, then I went back and looked, and this is where it switches to blue, so I had to rip those out and redo those. And now I know you can kind of see it, but then I started working on that border. And then the next row of letters will be blue. But that's as far as I'd really like to keep picking this up on my days that are extra on my whipco, because I really want to finish a sampler.
So how much more alphabet in
Not
this?
much. I think just a couple rows, and then I'm on to motifs.
Oh.
So I'm getting close, but I'd really like to finish a sampler. I really would. So I think I'm going to keep this out in the bag, and on my extra days I'm going to pick it up, I think.
Very pretty.
And then for this month, my whipco is, it's called a Quaker Welcome by Lila's Studio, or Lila's. And this is as far as I've gotten so far. And it's on the called for fabric of 40 count, like Old Massachusetts, I think, or Old Salem. Each name is a different count, so whatever count, I think it's old count, I think it's 40 count Old Massachusetts is what I think it is. Or, I don't know, it's either Old Salem or Old Mass. But if you smell it, it smells just like coffee.
Oh.
It does, and on this side it's real, you see the blotches, and then you go on this side and there's not hardly any blotches. So I picked the blotchy side to do it, because I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the house is pink and the flower is pink, and that thread is actually called grapefruit. And that's pretty pinky peachy to me. So I picked a red I'm going to put in there instead. I'm not going to do that. I think
kind of tone it down a little.
Yeah. Otherwise I might take the grapefruit and do what some people do, is they stick it in coffee or something.
And bake it?
Yeah, I might do that, because that's not me. That's a little bright for me. So we'll see how I do with that. And then the second one for this month, I haven't started it yet, and I'll explain why later. But
where's your whipco board?
It's down here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my whipco board. Oh,
your
right
sheet.
Here. My sheet is right here.
Look at the fill. I like to
There's
see
two
the
more filled
in.
in. I haven't filled them in. I was trying to fill them in this morning. My computer was acting up, so I couldn't. So there's really two more blue ones filled in, but it's getting filled in. I don't know. Some people are doing prizes to themselves when they
get a bingo.
Get a bingo. God, I don't want to start any more stuff. I'd like to finish some
You don't
stuff.
have bingo yet anyway.
No, I know. So I have to think. But my next one is going to be Mice in the Sewing Room. It's a pin keep. And I mean, I'm going to bring this down. We're going somewhere, so I'm going to bring this with when we go.
It's not a secret. We'll share in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll share it in a little bit. But that's why I didn't start with this one, because, and this is another bag. This is Lori Holt fabric, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one is. And I put the tag on so I know what everything is. And then what I've been doing is, I didn't do it on this one, but on my rings, I put what fabric I'm using and stuff. So I know, so I remember. The good old brain. What are you working on?
Okay, what I'm working on, let's see what's in this bag. This is, oh my Hands Across the Sea. Rose of Sugars.
Oh, that little one.
Yeah, the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, this probably wouldn't be in your comfort zone. Is it too bright for you? Oh, I didn't iron it. I didn't, because I just took it out of the hoop. Isn't that fun? Look at that. And you gotta be careful because, you know, you get in the rhythm and thinking, okay, we'll just keep going. Well, to fit it in, no, there's like these mauvey purple going across. Some of them are a little longer than others. And
yeah, because I remember her talking about that the 4-year-old didn't do so good.
Well, looks like she did really good there, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's 4 though. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And see, I have thread bling on here. So, okay, that's one of mine.
You want me to put it there?
You be my Brenda.
Brenda.
And then in this bag, I have, oh, this was my birthday start. And it is a Pride and Prejudice. And this was kind of right after my second cataract. So this is all I got done.
That's really pretty though. I like the leafy, viney thing.
Yeah.
Those are kind of cool.
Yeah, that will be fun.
It will be.
But it's
look at the bright colors. Wow.
I'm not going to coffee dye these.
No, Jeannie's bright and cheery and I'm dark and dirty.
Muted.
Yeah.
Muted. And then another one I've been working on for Blackbird Weekend is Tribute to Abigail. And that's in my working copy. It's in this book here. So I'm doing...
Oh, so that's like Americana. Red, white, and blue?
Yeah, it's old gold.
My Fiber on a Whim.
But I love it. It's not the bright that I usually do, but look at it.
Oh yeah, that's really pretty.
Look at this.
No, I could live with that, yeah.
Look at that.
When is that being delivered to my house?
It's not done yet. Yeah, I know Carol has it on her wall, Saltbuck Stitcher.
Oh.
And I was thinking the other day as I was stitching it, I might change it up. And instead of a tribute to Abigail, because in the chart there is, here's my working copy. Down below it has July 4th, 1776, and then A. Adams over there. I think I might put my dad's name in there and his dates, birth and death. So I can put it on my dad wall.
Because he was in the Navy or something, right?
He was in the Army.
Army, okay.
Yeah, he was in the Army twice, during World War II and then again Korea. So, yeah, that's just, it's kind of floating around. But, yeah. And then I started a couple for the trip we're going to go on. I'm going to bring Comfort and Joy by Heartstring Samplery. This is a fun one. I'm using DMC 115. I got threads. But it's variegated. Isn't that fun?
Oh, nice.
So
Julie ought to like that. You should hold that up a little longer because it's red. Julie likes a lot of red. So.
Well, she's going with us.
Yeah, that's variegated red. That's
and then
right up her alley.
this Little House Needleworks.
Oh, there you go. That's a pretty color.
It's different.
The fabric is different.
Yeah. So, and I'm doing sulky white. So you can't, just, it's kind of a faint. And then I started Prairie Schooler.
Oh, one of their trees.
Christmas tree. And it's the one with the snowflakes. And I'm using this dark green.
Wow, that is dark green.
It's a Garibaldi. But isn't that kind of fun?
Yeah, that's really fun. Yeah. Willow agrees.
Yeah, look at that. So, I just thought these would be easy to take for stitch-alongs. You know, they're all one color. So I thought, well, I'll get them started to see how they work. And they work good. So that
are your whips.
Are my whips.
What you're working on.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to haul. There was one day I just needed to get out of here. So we went down to Welcome Stitchery. We used to do a lot more trips, but Jeannie built a house and Julie added on. She sold her house and moved into her cabin, but then her cabin she has added on to, so that's where she's going to live now.
Yeah, so instead of a cottage, she has a home on the river.
Right, so now it's, we don't go on as many trips because they're trying to get stuff done to their houses and in their houses and around their houses, and so I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, Jeannie, I gotta go.
So we went to visit Justine down at Welcome Stitchery.
Good old Justine. And I got one little pattern. She had it on the wall, and it was called Yikes, and it's really little. It's very cute. So I got this pattern, and then I got the threads. And then I got, by Needle and Flax, I got Dolly Madison 40 count. Yeah, it's darker than that. I don't know. Is that any dark? Is that about right? Kind of. Because I ordered from Needle and Flax in February and I haven't gotten any 40 count because apparently there isn't any, but she had it, so I bought it. And then this is Needle and Flax, and it's called Ticonderoga.
Ticonderoga.
Ticonderoga. Look at Jeannie. And that's it. It's gold, but it's not quite as bright as that. It's a little duller.
There is a fort out in New York State. Fort Ticonderoga.
She's
on
a
the
little
eastern
historian,
side.
yes. When we go on trips, I learn all kinds of things. And this is Barb's Brew, for 36 count. And again, it's dark. It's weird because I got a Barb's Brew. I was going to bring it and show it just to show the difference. But the Barb's Brew I got online from Market is way lighter than this. I mean, there is like night and day to these two. So
Same count?
Same count, same everything. And this, I actually like this better because the other one, Barb's Brew, it looks real silvery gray. And this is way more tan.
Taupey.
Taupey. Yeah. So I like this. And then...
Dull.
I'm just...
No.
This is Winter Brew, 40 count. Yeah, this is 40 count Winter's Brew.
But for your samplers, this is all prime stuff.
Yeah, this is prime stuff for me. I'm excited. And then I did get the trim for my Merry Christmas pillow there. That was a Lady Dot. Yeah, because she had the right red. Yeah, she had the right red. And then I got this one, and it's called Polar Ice. And then there was another one. I don't see it though. Anyway, I got another trim that was a little ricky-racky thing, but I don't see it. Okay, okay, Jeannie, you got something?
That's it?
Oh, no, I got more haul,
But
from welcome stitchery.
Oh, well, my pile's a little bit bigger.
Oh, what do you know, huh?
Okay. That one small America frame picture, one I did with the charms, I got a couple other ones. I got the turkey, and I got December 25th. Our youngest son was born on December 25th. Hi, Adam. And then...
And she used to go to their houses and... Didn't you bring them a birthday cake on the minute they were born?
Oh, we have birthday cake at the time they were born, and Adam was born at 9:47 p.m.
But who was the one?
Andy is born at 6:53 a.m.
Yeah.
He lives in Florida now, so he just gets a phone call. So then I picked up the Hungry Hare feed sack. I've done a couple other of these. I love them. I got... Oh, wait. I got more in this bag.
Yeah, you do.
Quaker House Samplers, Carriage House Samplings.
Those are cute houses.
Aren't they?
Yeah. Those are cute.
Then I did Primrose Cottage Spring House and Winter House. I have Summer House at home. Then I got some assorted Ada. Look at that. And they, also I got the floss for the Star Spangled Duo. And we
each got a corner
gauge
from there.
Yeah.
And here's the rickrack I got. It's bird nest. I knew I'd find it. It's in my pile here. And then I also got those milk thread they're milk caps for your
Floss Rings?
Yeah, she had a bunch of it there, so I picked those up too.
Then this I thought was a cute Christmas. Ho, 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 be jolly.
Oh, okay.
So I got fabric and floss for that. So that's ready to go. So, that was my haul at...
Welcome Stitchery!
Hi, Justine!
Hi, Justine! Should we tell them?
We'll see you soon!
Yeah! Should we tell them now about that? Since we're talking about
Sure.
that? We go on trips for our birthday, and Jeannie chose this year for her birthday trip. Her birthday was in June, but her birthday trip, Welcome Stitchery has, it's called 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, and she does it every once in a while.
I think it's quarterly.
Yeah. And it's coming up next weekend.
Correct, a week from today.
She still has room if anybody's interested. They're switching to another thing. But you go for 24 hours. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's at a church. It's not in her store. It's at a church, and I think I'm not sure if it's in the basement. I think so.
Of the church.
Yes, of the church. But you start Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I suppose the 24 hours is 8 hours a day. Friday night she does give you pizza, but the other days you're on your own for food and your hotel. But we're looking forward to it. And this time she's concentrating on finishing, so there's going to be somebody there showing how to finish stuff. But you can just stitch. You don't, She said some people were bringing sewing machines to finish stuff, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see how they do.
For us, that's pretty close. It's in Blue Earth, so
less than 3 hours.
Yeah. Because normally we go all over the place. So, okay, so we'll continue on with our haul. We went down to Walnut, Iowa. Jeannie and I did in Walnut they have a big antique show, and it's like the whole town. You walk around the whole town, and we stay overnight. And then we also hit some other shops on the way down and on the way back too. I mean, if you're a quilter or a stitcher, you don't just do a straight line,
No.
That's not nice.
Plus, it's good to get out and stretch your legs.
Yeah. Right.
Got to do that.
Get a breather. But in Walnut I found this little spool. Actually, I think Jeannie found it and didn't want it, I think, if I remember right. And then I'm always looking for pillowcases or whatever to put on bags. So there's 2 pillowcases in here.
And it's blue.
Yeah, I like blue. And I'll make these into bags. And I did find a frame, but I didn't pull it out. It's just a little frame to put something in. And then you didn't bring anything from Walnut, right?
I didn't get anything cross-stitch related.
No, she got quilting.
No.
And then we went to see Julie's new house. It's almost done. I mean, we went over to see the progress and stuff. So we went to some thrift stores that day and went to lunch and stuff. And then at a thrift store, I found a little tomato. That's what I bought. It was $2.75 for this bag. It has other stuff in it, but I really went for the tomato. Julie found it and said, "Leanne, you collect tomatoes." And then I found this, which is just cute, and I'll put this on a bag too. Kind of reminds me of the Morton Salt Girl, because she has the umbrella too.
I was thinking Hummels.
Yeah, but I thought this will easily go on a bag, and it's done.
Yeah.
And
the Morton Salt Girl has a friend.
I know, but I just was shocked because I think this was $3, and it's finished. I don't know. You feel kind of bad when you see that stuff sitting there, and
yeah, and you can repurpose it.
Right. So then on our Walnut trip, we went to a place called Crisscross Stitchery, and it's a cross stitch store. Where was it?
Iowa Falls, Iowa.
Yeah, and I got this pattern, the Christmas house. I think there's 9 of them. And I've always wanted them, so I thought, well, heck, I'll start picking them up. And this one is the Needleworker house, of course. Why wouldn't you get the Needleworker house? And then I didn't realize there were more of these, so I'm going to pick more of these up. But it's by Abby Rose, and this one is the Tulip basket ornament. And it has the ABCs on it, if you see it. Willow's tail. But then there's more of the stockings. There's more of the stockings with further alphabets on them. So I'm gonna pick up the other ones as we go about places. And then we had gotten this at our trip to Osage when we were there and at the class with Hands-On Design Kathy. But then Crisscross had the checkered fabric to go for the pillow.
Right at the register, so you wouldn't forget it.
Right. So we each picked up a 1/4 yard of that. So you want to show your crisscross?
Yes. So I seen these little sleds. This one and then that one. But I've got some little wooden ornaments instead of sleds. These will fit on perfect. So that's what I'm going to use those for. And then I picked up a couple more primrose cottages. And then they were, okay, just a minute, I gotta get it back from Willow. Willow?
Oh, Willow took it. Oh, her magnets.
She
no.
got them.
Oh, I'm gonna give you one of mine.
She, with purchase, we got a gift, so there were the magnetic ties. And, it was
Willow
just sitting
just
on the table for 2 minutes. See
Yeah,
what Willow does?
Willow chewed it. Sorry.
Well, at least she didn't swallow.
No, she won't swallow.
So, yep, it was.
Crisscross Stitchery.
Yeah, very, very nice shop. And
hasn't been open too long. They just moved to the place we were at in October. So they moved from a smaller place to this place. So she had stuff on order, she said. So, but it was very nice. It was a very, very nice shop.
Nice and bright, clean and open, and yes.
And then we went to Reflections.
Yes, after Walnut, we spent the good part of the morning and into the afternoon at Walnut walking around in the heat. We decided, let's go to Omaha.
So we went to Reflections, and that's a very, very nice shop.
Yes.
And I got a corner gauge there. And then I found this one, I must like Abby Rose Designs, but this one is called Bluebird Sampler. Oops, get my hand out of there. Bluebird Sampler. And I got all the thread for it there. That one's a pretty one. Very, very pretty.
Here is Reflections. And Julie does a floss tube also.
Yeah, she does. She has a sampler, an old sampler that she's going to chart. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. And she's in the process of charting it. And I just happened to see it behind her, the counter. And I asked her about it. She's working on it, but oh man, is it beautiful. And then I bought this pattern, Let Freedom Ring. I thought that was cute. Little pin keep. And then this is Plum Street Samplers, Let Freedom Ring, Betsy's Tart.
Ooh.
She has a flag. This one, she had a sample of this. OMG. This was beautiful. Absolutely
That's right by the front door, wasn't it?
Yes. Absolutely beautiful. And I bought all the threads. And I might, I don't know, I've been thinking about ripping something off of my Whipco to start this little bugger.
Customize that Whipco board.
And then she had little bags of snippets, like this is Legacy Linen, 36 count Legacy. This is 37 count Corn Tassel. And then I did get a fat quarter of Winter Wheat. She didn't say who it's by.
Well, it's a Swigert base.
Yeah, but lots of things are Swigert base. I don't know who the Winter Wheat is, but there's Winter Wheat, and that's lighter than it is, but not much. That's pretty good. And then I also got 40 count Vintage Meadow Rue, a fat quarter of that also. I love Vintage Meadow Rue. This is the second one I found, and I love it.
Julie had a lot of samples in her store, and that was fun to see.
Yeah, lots of samples. And then I know a lot of people have seen this. Hats off to Uncle Sam. She had this there with the hat. Well, how could you not go home? And I picked up the threads for it. And then Jeannie so graciously stopped. We stopped at Hobby Lobby, so I picked up the bottom of the hat, and
the hat.
The hat goes in here. Hobby Lobby has the ribbon that goes around it. And then there's 3 blues, and I have to order the...
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue. 3 blues. What am I talking about? 3 paints is what I wanted to say.
There you go.
And I just have to order the antiquing stuff that goes over it. So I'm going to work on that. It's pretty small, so... I mean, that's very cute. Very, very, very cute. I think that's it for... reflection.
Okay, so I got some patterns. I got this one here, thanks. Erica Michaels Stitch All Things. I like the berry too. What was Quirky Tomato, Nebby Needle? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I got a Nebby Needle from Market.
And then I thought this was so cool. Liberty Hill Farm. A couple drums.
I have that too.
Yes. We got corner gauge.
Yep, I showed that first.
Okay.
The very first thing I showed.
Okay. And then I just got some assorted little pieces of Ada, different, mostly 18 counts, a couple 16 counts, but just different colors. So that was my Reflections purchase.
We went to Country Sampler, but we'll talk about that in
That was we came home.
Yeah. We came home. We went to Country Sampler because it was my fault, because we had gone, I had watched Carol Saltbox Stitcher and somebody else had gone to the stitch camp there. And so Julie, Jeannie, and I took a trip. I asked them if we could go. A day. I call it a day trip because it takes a day.
It's a 15-hour day from my house, from morning till, from the time I left till I got home.
Give me a break, don't you want to?
We had 2 meals out.
did, but it's a day. I mean, we got home in the same day.
Yes, and it wasn't even dark yet.
No, it wasn't. But I did find two of the new, I think Carol had showed these, but it's Be Ye Thankful by Brenda Gervais. I had a list. I had written a list. That's why I asked them, I said, can we please go to Country Sampler? And then this is, I love Fall Most of All, which is very, very pretty. And I pulled the threads for this. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. And then the rest was all fabric because I'm doing something, so we'll talk about that later.
I got this 1889 alphabets. I'm kind of on the lookout for samplers that are dated either 1882 or 1889. 1882 is when my in-laws settled where we are living now. And the house that we recently took down was built in 1889. So I thought maybe it'd be kind of fun to have something dated that. And then I found this book. Oh my, is that fun?
It is fun.
There's one and done in here. I suppose, is there going to be a chart? No. It has the mattress finish. Okay. I know it's in here. It's on the front. That's it there. Isn't it?
Mattress finish.
Yes. This one right here in the middle. So there's sides to it. See?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
So like there's a 1-inch side.
Right, that's
all
stitched.
the way around. I see what you mean.
Yeah. But aren't the colors just beautiful? Yeah, so that's what I got at
Country Sampler.
Yeah.
There was a pattern I ordered from them. They were out of them. So she said they would call when that's in.
Oh, I've been willowified. Oh. I don't know if you can see that corner. See the...
She chews on the plastic.
You know, if we were doing any CSI, we could do this. But I ordered this through Just Keep Stitching. They had this one time in it, and I ordered it from the Daily Stitcher as their promotions of the week.
Oh, yeah, from Twin Peak Primitive.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. But it was, yeah. Yeah. Is that all our haul?
That's enough.
For cross-stitching.
For cross-stitching, yes, it is. Okay, and I mean, plans is left, but we already talked about we're going to Welcome Stitchery next weekend for 24 hours of cross-stitch, and we're very excited about that.
And then in a couple weeks, you go on vacation.
I do. In 2 weeks, we go up to my brother's cabin, and we stay for a week up there. And the grandkids love it. Nice beach. It's beautiful. We go every year. And then I'm pretty much back home.
And then it will be getting to the middle of August.
It will be. So, for cross-stitch, I think that's about it, gang. So, it was nice to see you again. And if you like us, hit subscribe. And thanks for those that keep coming back. So, I guess we'll see you in a couple weeks. And then we'll move on to quilting. What to do about that?
All from rest.
Oh,
All from rest.
So,
hi, quilty friends.
hi, quilty friends.
From rest.
So the first thing is questions. We did have a question from one of our viewers that wanted to know what this quilt was. Jeannie's getting it. What is it?
Oh, there's the backing for it.
Oh, okay. This is, yeah. And she wanted to know if I did all the little squares, and yes, every little square is different. I don't know, I can kind of show you. I made my border all dark, and I'll show you the pattern. But every little square in the middle is different. They're all stars, but everything is, you know, it's
fun. A quilt block, different quilt block in the center, huh?
Yeah. So, and it's from this pattern. It's from Clothesline Quilts, and it's called Courthouse Stars. And in their border, they had some lights put in. It's just scraps from everything you used. And I like these kind of things because they're scrappy. I mean, I like scrappy quilts a lot. Most of my quilts are scrappy. So I just made my border all dark. That's the only difference, is I just used all my darks. Just to kind of, I thought it'd be too blendy if I put the lights in. So.
Well, then that kind of helps your eyes calm down.
Right, rest. It has a place to stop.
Instead of having your eyes dart around.
And if you see, this block here, this square is the block. So you're really making these star blocks, but then you're making a bunch of these blocks. And then when you put them all together, you get that
kind of Irish train effect.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do at all. The little blocks, I mean, these are little.
So you do some in dark background and some in lighter with those courthouse steps.
Yes, right. You just want it to contrast. But these, I think, are, would you say they're 3 inches finished? I'm guessing. The little middles.
Okay.
Wouldn't you think?
I was wondering if they were... Oh.
I don't have a ruler.
Nope. Yeah.
1.5 inch little ones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of the quilt. She wanted to see it and what the pattern was.
And on point.
Yep, it's on point. Again, it was really fun to do. I did it many years ago. I don't have it quilted yet. It's on my list to quilt, but then it'll hang here.
The backing is over there too, so she has the backing set aside for it.
Yeah, I do. So it will get done. I'm working on it. So I hope that helps. Here's the pattern again. If you need to, it doesn't help that I put the name over.
There's not a date on there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, here's the address and everything. If it's not, maybe she could send you one. It's 45 by 55.
It's a nice size.
Yeah, it is a nice size. Okay, that was the only question I think we had. Finishes. We don't have any finishes.
I do.
Oh, she has a finish. Okay.
Okay. Couldn't find it. We are, I don't know if you call it our local quilt shop. The one we go to, we belong to a monthly group. And we have meetings once a month, and we don't sew at the meetings. We just get information, or we share what we've been working on or whatever. So there are different projects that you can do for the year. And Leanne's working on Kim Deal's Simple Whatnots.
Right.
I don't know what number it's up to.
5, maybe? 6?
Yeah, I don't know. But then I'm doing a mystery. So this time, for the mystery, it's out of this book. And we could either choose this one here or this ornament wall hanging there. And I picked the ornament wall hanging. So this is the quilt top. And there was a mistake in the pattern.
Oh.
But easy to figure out and easy to fix.
Oh.
Yeah, because the ribbon border, when they were piecing it here,
Yep.
they forgot one of the
Pieces.
yes.
Oh, okay.
So, and it without it, it wasn't long enough. And all of a sudden, you got 2 blocks left on your table, and it's like, okay. So that's what I was working on.
So then we're going to go on to fully finished. And Kim Deal posts on Instagram a lot, and she has a new book out called Simple Whatnots 3. And part of the Simple Whatnots 3, she did a mystery sew-along. And she called it Scavenger Hunt. It's an 8-part mystery. And you can still, I think, pull these off if you know.
I did a week ago.
Yeah, if you want to do it. And there's certain, she gives you, she was doing it Monday and Friday. So Monday she would post a new part of the quilt, and then Friday she would post another part. And I think it was about a month that she did that.
But she started June 1st.
Yeah.
Or June 6th was the first one.
And this is the quilt, and mine's all done. And Jeannie will show you hers, if I can move mine over. Do you want to?
You did yours with?
I did mine with all scraps of my Civil Wars.
Yeah.
I have a dark bin that has little pieces in it, and a light bin that has little pieces in it, and I told myself, other than you have a black, she says to start with a fat quarter of a black. So other than that fat quarter, everything is pieces. And what I like about what she did is every single piece around, like even the pinwheels or the stars, every single background piece is different.
And see, I didn't have that many different backgrounds.
Oh.
And I was working on another quilt at the time, so I had these pieces left on my cutting board.
Right. So
and instead of black,
how different we are.
I did a fat quarter of blue. So, yeah.
Yep, I did there. It was fun. It was so fun. I wish she would do like one of these like every other month or something. It would be just a blast. Because she tells you what to cut. She tells you, you know, she shows you what you're doing.
But it, the quilt or the stitch along, quilt along, whatever, it refers to that book.
Yes, there's every single day she tells you what part of the book to go to do, you know, like when you're doing the stars. She tells you what page to go to do the stars, or what page to go to do the pinwheels. Right. So it was very fun. And this book has lots of little quilts in it, and I love little quilts. So I will be using this book again for sure.
Then you have another one you're working on that we have to travel to the other part of the room.
Yeah, the one I've been showing you I've been working on called Forevermore by Pambuda. I've got it on my design wall, and we're just going to pause at the end, and I'll take you over there. Because I don't know how to show it. It's getting big. I still have 2 more borders to go to. So.
Well, would it be complete as the pattern was originally written before the extensions were put on?
Not now. There's a red border you would put on, and then it would be done.
Okay.
Because I'm up to the black border, and then I'll show you the picture that I'm adding 2 more borders. But for the original one, you would still add a red border to this, and it would be 80 by 80 then.
Okay.
Mine is going to be 90 by 90.
And you're putting a piece border on besides. It's not
yeah,
just...
there's a flying geese. It's called divided flying geese. I've never done it before. It's a Deb Tucker. I used a lot of her rulers to make the quilt, and then she has a technique sheet that she tells you how to do these divided flying geese. So I'm kind of excited to do that because I've never done it. So, okay, so I think we move on to haul. Here we laugh again. I'll just tell you, we went on the all Minnesota shop hop. It was the first year of it.
2-month long.
Yes, and when you finished a region, you could turn in your passport, and we only finished 1 region, so we ran out of time and didn't want to do any more. So we turned it all in. Well, believe it or not, I won something, and I won this charm pack. And it's called Graduation Chips, and it's all reds, and they kind of graduate to like pinks, and then they get lighter and lighter and lighter. So I'll think of something to do this, but I actually won. I've never won anything. Came in the mail. Jeannie told me, she said, "Leanne, I think you won something." I went, woo! Never won anything.
Do you do any Valentine stitching?
I want to put a Valentine on my bench.
Well, then you can make a Valentine bag.
I could.
Yeah,
I could.
a patchwork bag.
So then my other big haul is from Country Sampler.
Well, on our Iowa trip, on our walnut trip, we stopped in Jefferson, Iowa, and you got some fabric there on that collection, and I got No, this wasn't it, was it? Well, some of it was. Well, that was Iowa City.
Yeah.
But Leanne has been collecting. What is this?
It's called In Full Bloom. This is Alma and Barb's quilt book that just
What's
came
the fabric line called?
Threads That Bind.
It's a Blackbird.
Right. And I want to make this quilt because I am just in love with this quilt. And so I've been looking for the fabric,
but it's got to be bigger.
It's got to be bigger because I have a king size bed. So I just think this would be so beautiful, and I want to make the pillow too. And that's a big pillow. It's 44 by 22, and it's really cool because they use rickrack for the stems of the flowers, and then they dye them to get them the colors that they are. You buy white rickrack and then you dye them.
And then there's rickrack around the pillow too, bigger rickrack.
Bigger rickrack, because this is a 1/2 inch, and I think the outside is 1 inch, if I remember right. So I was kind of on a quest looking for that fabric because I knew it was going to sell out.
So at Jefferson, Iowa, we found some of the
yeah, she didn't have the whole line. She must have had 5 or 6 different fabrics.
Enough for a bag. And then I found some
flamingo.
flamingos. I can do a bag for my hands-on design flamingo charts.
And then I don't think, did I get any more of that, Jeannie, or than you, or not there?
But in Iowa Falls, after we went to Crisscross Stitchery, there was a quilt shop down
the street.
So I picked up some fat quarters for, is it Summer Baskets by Hands On Design?
Yeah.
The pillows?
Yep.
So, and then I got some barn quilt fabric that I thought I'd make a bag with.
Right. That's beautiful.
Okay. That was in Iowa Falls.
Right.
Then when we were down at Welcome Stitchery, we went down the street. Was it Michelle's?
Yes.
Quilting. And she
let Justine pick out 3 fabrics from that line.
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Yep.
Charm pack.
Yep, the charm pack. And so then we got this red one from there, right? We got the red one.
Yep. And then we got this blue one.
Oh yeah, the blue.
And then we've got the tone on tone.
Right.
And then we got some
more tomato fabric. That was on clearance.
Yeah.
On sale.
What were they thinking? And then I got some Teresa Colgate Halloween. I can make a bag. That was the Blue Earth trip.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Walnut trip.
And then we went to Sewing Seeds.
On the way home from Walnut.
On the way home from Walnut.
And that's in New Ulm, Minnesota.
Right. And she has so much Civil War. And she had she had quite a bit of the Threads That Bind fabric. Yeah.
That's one of Leanne's shops.
I breathe really well in that store. That store is just amazing to me. And I had this book, and I love this quilt. I love it. Well, they had the border fabric there for that quilt. So I bought the border fabric for sure, because that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's just a beautiful quilt. I like applique, and it's just cool.
Did you have that book with, or did you find it there?
I didn't have the book with, but I have the book.
Right. But I mean, you looked it up there.
Yeah,
what you
they
needed.
had the book there too, so I looked it up because this is my book.
It wasn't a scheduled stop.
No.
We just decided to stop there. We were around the Mankato area for Hobby Lobby so we could get Uncle Sam's hat and things, and New Ulm isn't too far.
Nope. So then I got, you know, as much of the fabric there as I could. They had...
But hadn't you already ordered some?
I did. I ordered, because to make that quilt you need a half-yard bundle of that fabric. So I ordered that from Fat Quarter Shop. And here is pretty much, I don't know how to do this, but there's the half-yard bundle of all of the fabrics of that line. Except there's some that, you know, I called because I thought, well, I was seeing some on Flosstube and stuff that I didn't get, and they said, because they declared some of them panels. So like this blue, they declare a panel. Whereas like with the pink where we got at the quilt store, she was selling this by yardage. So I think it's just up to the stores or something that they choose whether to buy, you know, to sell you as a panel or not. So that's why Fat Quarter didn't include it in the bundle. But I did find the blue. And then this one says to me, well, you look at the quilt.
Oh,
Yeah. And she goes, is this going to bug you? And I said, what? And she said, well, everything is sideways for that.
Because the blocks are on point, so all of the sampler-like fabric would be off kilter.
So if you look at the sampler fabrics on here, like there's one in there, there's one, they're all sideways. They're not straight up and down. And she says, is that going to bug you? Well, of course that's going to bug me. So then we sat there and tried to figure out how much more fabric I need so when I cut it on point, they will be straight. The lettering will be straight across. So then, of course, I had to buy more fabric because then things won't be crooked. Because otherwise, they're all like this on the bed. And on a king-size bed, I'm thinking, that's going to drive me nuts. So I had to buy more of just the sampler ones. I ordered another couple yards of the sampler ones so I can turn them, and to me it's going to be fussy cutting. I mean, it is, because you're going to turn it and make sure that when it's laying on your bed, they're straight up and down.
There'll be a lot of extra fabric.
Right. There will be. There'll be a lot of waste. So that's... that was Sewing Seeds.
This is what I got at Sewing Seeds, these fat quarters. Like this one here is Granny Squares. And here's the light tone version of Granny Squares. Then these, look at the bells. Aren't those fun? I got the red ones. I thought these would be really cool for pin keeps. And then just some pin dots there.
Yeah, those will all be good for pin keeps.
Yeah. Then I can hang a bell on it.
And so then when we were at Country Sampler, and she had more of that line, and some of the reds were gone. The red samplers, there's 2 reds in the line. There's this one, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's tea-dyed. The background is tea-dyed. She didn't have that one, and that was specifically the one I was looking for. And then she has this one, and this one isn't tea-dyed. It's just plain background. But then I found them somewhere else, so I have them ordered. But they had this pattern called Summerfest, and they had the sample hanging, and it was really cute for patriotic. And it's 34 by 34. So I bought the kit because I really have patriotic fabric. Not a whole lot.
Look
And
at
I
how
really liked this fabric because it's not bright and it's kind of mottled and faded, and it just looked to me really cool rather than being this bright reds and blues.
There again with their packaging.
Yeah, and they're I mean, I don't know if you can kind of tell on that picture or not, but things are kind of, some of the fabrics are kind of faded. You know, they kind of look old, and that's what I really liked about it. And then they had this, which was just cute. They're little pin keeps and they're birds, and it's called Birds and Blossoms, and it comes as a kit. Again, look at that packaging they do. They're just...
That's what you've seen online, right? Because
Yeah,
you zeroed in on that right away.
I did. Before we went down there, because that was when I told them I'd watch Carol Saltbox Stitcher and somebody else, I said, can we please go to Country Sampler? Because she showed in the background, she had the whole line of threads that bind, and that's what I was going for. But by the time we got there, some of it was gone. But then, since I knew we were going, I looked online. I do that all the time, and I make a list. Because at least, yeah, you're spending money, but if you got a list, it kind of helps. Otherwise, you get lost. But this was, I saw this online. I thought, that is just too cute. I just had to have that. And then, I mean, I did buy, and the lady that was cutting my fabric, she had done the sample of that quilt. And I asked her if I could look at it. She had just brought it in, and it was in a plastic bag.
Wasn't quilted yet.
No, it was just the top. And so she took it out. She goes, oh, yeah, sure. So she brings it out in Country Sampler. They have a couple of, like, beds, partial beds. Displays. And she spread it out on that bed. And so I took some pictures. And it's... How am I going to show you there? Do you see that? And what I was fascinated about, okay, each of these blocks is 20.5 inches unfinished. So the circle and all of the little flowery things, teardrops,
petals,
they're big. Well, the actual circle is really thick. I thought it was thin. It's really thick, and it was so cool. There's another one. Shoot, there.
Should try to put the pictures in the end of the video.
Yeah, I could. It was beautiful. So I asked her a whole bunch of questions because it's all applique and I applique. So I just kind of want to know how she did it. She was very gracious and told me how she did it. And she had brought it in, and I asked, I don't know the owner's name, but I was talking to her.
Jeannie Horton.
Oh, and she said they're going to do that little stippling all over it. And they had the pillow in the front window, that big 44 by 22 pillow. And that was all done with that little stippling too, and it was amazing. It was just amazing. So I was just shocked that I got to see it in person. There it was staring at me in a plastic bag going, can I see that, please? So that was really fun. And then we went to Stanley. I don't know if you've ever been to Stanley. Stanley is...
Pine Hollow Quilting?
Yes. And it's kind of run by, is it Mennonites? Are they Mennonites?
I think so.
Fabric is very reasonable there. Extremely reasonable. So whenever we're looking for backs for quilts, we make a list. When we have 3 or 4 quilts or something, we try to make a trip there. But
it was on our way home on the day trip.
Yeah, it was on the day trip. So I got these. They're Primitive Gathering, and this is Garden Gatherings. I think it's her newer fabric. But she had these little 5-inch things, so I got these. And then this is the Garden Gatherings, but this is the shirtings for it. And then I did get a backing there. And most of their fabric is like, what, $7 to $10 a yard? They have a lot of it. They also have, it's kind of like a little general store, sort of.
Yes, they're out in the country.
Yeah, they're out in the country, and they have, you know, like, I mean, they have, you know, popcorn there. But they also have very basic stuff. They're like brooms and stuff, because I think there's...
Well, then they have a whole room of giftware.
Right, in the front, yep. And then usually on the outside, and when you first walk in, they've got the wooden quilt blocks. Jeannie bought one.
The barn quilts that are piece, not painted?
Yeah, they're piece, old. They're made out of old barn wood. And I mean, I have them on the front of my house, and Jeannie just bought one for her house. So, and they're not badly priced either. Oh, so if you ever are there, it's called Pine Hollow, and it's in Stanley, Wisconsin. And then I'll just show you this. I got this. Since I bought so much fabric, I got a thread.
Wow!
That was my little thing. And believe it or not, gang, I think we got through our haul. Okay, and working on, I'm going to have to pause us and take you over there to show you my quilt. So we'll do that next, okay?
Okay. Doesn't.
Hi there. Okay, this is my design wall, and this is my quilt. It's called Forevermore, and I've got it pieced this far. All these little blocks here, which I don't know if Jeannie wants to zoom in on them. These are all 3 inches finished.
Don't want to get people sick.
And then these are all 6 inches finished, and they're all on point. And then these are flying geese down here. This border, there you go. And then this border so far is black. And this star, this is, you know, the star in the middle. And right now, well, it's not 80 by 80 yet. And if I show you, see, that's what the original quilt looks like. So all I'd have to do at this point is add the red on and I'd be done. But this is the pattern I'm following. And if you can see I have these divided flying geese and just other fabric to put on, and then the red goes on. So those are the 2 borders I have left to do. That's it. But this is, oh, I don't know, it must be 70 by 70 now, I'm guessing. There it is. It's beautiful. I am in love with this quilt. And I'm going to hang it. It's going to hang coming down the stairs on the basement because I have a quilt there now and it's getting faded. So this one will hang there when I get it quilted. I do have the clicker right here. So, is that it? We're done, right?
I think so.
Okay, so we will see you again in probably 3 weeks because of my vacation. So we'll try to, your hand is in the camera. Okay, well, we'll see you. I'm sorry we're making you sick. Bye.
Bye.